Hello Gemini, welcome to my channel. This reading is for April 2024 or whenever you feel called to watch it. Um, if you're another sign, welcome. I was thinking about the reading throughout the day, so I got some messages and I'll pull out some cards. I have a couple decks that I'll be using. I have the Slavic Legends Tarot, my deck, the Earth Fairy Tarot. I feel bad because I didn't pull out a card for the last sign that I did, which is Taurus. So I'll pull out two from the Celtic Spirit Oracle, the Pastoral Tarot, and I made this deck bag. It's the Wildwood Tarot, and it's trimmed. It's from my friend, and she etched it in this aquatic green, and I love taking it out around this time of the year. I also have another thing from another friend that um, she actually lives near my parents, like down the street, and um, she gifted me oops, this jasper that I made into a macrame necklace. I'm gonna switch out the cord, but I really love this. I don't have many crystals. I would say I work a lot more with herbs for different things in my life than working with crystals, but I do enjoy them. Um, this one is definitely a soothing one, and it's said that it could help balance yourself and have like inner tranquility, like ease the anxiety. And I definitely feel like there's a softness to this crystal. So, a couple of things that I was getting because I do feel that energy flows one after the other in a way when it comes to the readings, and that's kind of how I treat them and or how I've been treating them. And um, so, one of the things towards the end of the reading, to begin this reading, since I did mention a song from the script, there is another song and it's Break Even. And it feels like somebody is feeling as if the other person got away like scotch-free without any care in the world, like the other person that they were talking to before just doesn't care. And it doesn't seem like that's the case. There's also a specific thing. It was like, I'm sick, I'm sick. There could be somebody that is somewhere where they aren't able to talk to the person for specific reasons. And I was also getting taken away inconveniently. Um, there's also something that happened that's like an hour away from me or so. There was a bridge that collapsed because something hit it. And it kind of, although that's definitely something else too, but it kind of felt like something major went on and then it just halted something. Like you couldn't get from one side to another type of energy. So Um, there's also other types of energies too, as if someone that may be different, or it could be the same person too, or maybe told this to by another person, is that this other person is like she's spoiled or he's spoiled because she's doing this or he's doing this and or this is happening in their lives. Um, but when these conversations or even gossip is happening about this specific person, it seems to be like the topic of a conversation, this specific person. It's almost as if no matter what they say, I'm getting that it's more, or at least in the past, that it was more not the greatest. They were kind of like in a way the butt of the joke, and now it's kind of like it just doesn't stick. Like if another person is saying about this about this specific person, it's like the person that's being spoken about, it doesn't seem like they're in a way minding that much, or it's almost as if they're winning, but it's not their intention to think about it as winning because their integrity or their truthfulness or their the type of character that they have, it just kind of um, grazes over or it honestly like overthrows like the stuff that the other people have said about this person. So it doesn't, no matter how much is being like gossiped about this person, it's like it's not sticking. So those are the main things that I feel like were being said or that are in the energy for the Gemini. There could also be a sense of, I'm getting like insensitivity, I would say, with Gemini energy. In in general, they're kind of like kind of known for joking, and sometimes it could be seen as like, I guess, not the right time. So it's almost as if maybe somebody's humor is so dry and they say something so directly and in a way bluntly, like a person or people don't know whether to laugh or to be angry. But honestly, I don't think that they mean anything by it, especially with Gemini being a mutable sign or an air sign in general. They there tends to be a flexibility, especially in the realms of like thinking on their feet or like especially with conversation. Like if they could just like they're like a spitfire type of energy. Like they'll say what they say. And I don't think it's necessarily something that's meant to be taken so seriously. I feel like I'm gonna start. There's so many decks. There's so many um sorry, just it'll come back to me. I mean, there could have been different things that were said. Um, but also with it again being a mutable sign, there is a sense of, in terms of fluidity with communication, it's almost as if it's like inconsistent. Like one thing, they'll say like one thing and then they'll say another thing. And then it's like, whoa, that was like completely the, like, it wasn't like the opposite of what you said before, but it's almost as if they're seeing like different sides of the personality. And no one's asking for my opinion, but I think it's good when you see a person, I guess, with their personality exposed. It does remind me of my boss because I think what we appreciate about each other is that when we're happy or upset about something, we'll just like upright and say it. Like I've been cursed out by my boss. And there's like there's an instance where there was a prescription that was X amount of money, it was a couple $100s, and then there they wanted it to be shipped and it was another couple $100s. And so I asked her, I was like, is this okay? Do you think they'd want this? And she looked at me like I was stuck on stupid. And then she also looked at me as if she was vexed because I interrupted her while she was doing something. And this is exactly what she told me when I asked her. She said, no one gives a shit about the shipping cost. Send it out. So it does feel like a really blunt, honest energy. And sometimes it does come off guard, especially at certain moments. But I'm also getting with this is that honestly, if you have a full room of people that have a specific thought about something but nobody else is saying it, you best believe the Gemini will be like, well, I think it sucks because of X, Y, and Z. And then people are going to be looking at this person being like, oh my God, what? And then they'll be like, everyone else was thinking about it. I'm the one that just said it. It's kind of like that energy. And I feel as maybe the Gemini or the person that connects to this video, I think there's a sense of appreciation for it. And as they get like through life, sometimes they're challenging moments. I think I feel that it's not as um not so much at the wrong times anymore. And honestly, I feel like there's also an energy of that's how they know how to lighten the mood in a room or a situation that's kind of on the darker side or like a horrific thing that happened. And I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just getting the energy. I'm getting that it could also, this is 10 and 10. So at the bottom of the deck was the 10 of Swords, the Will of the Wisps. Was the Wisp. And then the card that I pulled out is the 10 of Pentacles. Both ending energy. Not necessarily completely ending, but there's a sense of something reaching its peak, as if there's a specific person. I feel that the more that they listen to other people and then maybe listen to the person that they were actually talking about, it just really confused them. Or like the situation that they were talking about. It was like a night and day type of opinions about things. And maybe the person that was being gossiped about, like they either, there's a sense of like not addressing it, being like, I don't think I need to address it because I'm this type of person. I I didn't lie to you. I showed you who I was. So I think that'll just prove itself. And it's interesting with the extra, well, the oracle cards from the Celtic spirit, because there's the card of surrender, as if it's going with the flow. Sorry, there's a fairy there. And then letting kind of nature take its course. It's almost as if you're not fighting the current anymore. It's almost as if you're really like more confident in how you feel about specific things or a person. And then the other card is the Oak Guardian. And it's interesting because it says threshold answers and open mind. And since there's a door there and there's answers, again, it's like the situation answered itself, or honestly, people have shown themselves to the door as if um, things revealed itself and there wasn't a way to stop it. It's kind of how it feels. It almost feels like the force of nature just took its course, and that's how it was. So you have the green woman here, which is linked to the Empress, and this one feels as if it's a primal energy, that there was something, I would say, a little bit different. It reminds me of like when you think of humans being raised by wolves. Like this person looked like she was raised like as a savage, or this person was raised in a way that looked indecent or inappropriate, or something that was offensive to this, to somebody else or this group of people. For the reasons that they were called to think that, or they were combining themselves to think. Then it's the Six of Stones. This is exploitation. That's the word that shows up on here. With the World Tree, and you see that the Six of Stones, there's also like a bushfire in the back, as if it's clearing away what once was there. And that kind of feels like clearing away what was not true or was not needed. And also with the card and more towards the traditional meaning, there's a sense of like hunger here too, because they have all these beehives there as if it was like a source of maybe income or source of like a food source, something that helps supplement what they needed. They're still there, but they look like they're damaged or they're destroyed. And then their tool is destroyed at the bottom, and they're kind of looking and seeing what type of, in a way, like what type of salvation they can get from this. And the World card is another ending card. There's a lot of ending cards in this reading, as if one door opened after another door closed. And the labyrinth here looking like after meditating and after going through the maze, finding finally being able to come to a conclusion. And with the tree, there is the sense of completion and seasons there too, because the tree's leaves, they're different colors representing the different seasons. So this also feels like a moment in time too. And it feels um honestly maybe like a slap on the wrist, which in a way kind of feels like a blessing too, because maybe the person that was being gossiped about, they're like not paying it any mind. So the universe was, if you believe in that, the universe was just like kind of reflecting that energy of, okay, there isn't going to be anything super aggressive here, then we won't, the universe won't put anything like super aggressive in a way, where they don't seem to be offended. It's almost as if it's been accepted. And in accepting something, especially about yourself, I would say that it is a lot more freeing. And it doesn't have something that festers up as if they were to try to be something that they're not. As if maybe your parents wanted you to be something specific, but you didn't want to be that. But you chose that path because you wanted to please them. And it kind of festers because it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like something that's meant to happen in that way. And it eats at you too because of the possibility of maybe going for something that they actually wanted. The other two or three cards. So with the Three of Bows, the Three of Wands, the fulfillment card, this feels like a destiny card, as if something wasn't halted, like something is going to happen. And the outcome is so, it kind of feels a little extreme, or it kind of feels maybe extreme to other people because it was an outcome that was trying to be put to a halt. It was an outcome that was like trying to be stopped. But there was something there, especially like when you have something in its purest form that isn't tainted, it really affected the situation. I say that because there's the Page of Vessels, the Page of Cups with the otter, and then the Queen of Bows, the Queen of Wands with the hare. This feels more of a embodiment of what I have said, love in its purest form. And it links to the Queen of Wands. And here the Queen of Bows. With the Queen of Wands, it's not one where she holds back. It's not one where she's just gonna um she's gonna be who she's gonna be. And I think it's the type of approach or type of mentality that goes with it. Um, I was just counting my decks to see if I pulled out from all of them. Because with the Ten of Swords, it looks like, again, with the force of nature, as if something is helping guide the situation after some, like, gossip was put to a halt. And then you had the mushrooms there. Because with mushrooms, although they can be something that would be good to eat, um, they do feed off decay and then they grow in places that are moist and dark. So with that and with the trees not having any leaves, it feels a little bit cold, or like in an environment that it couldn't grow anymore, or at least other things maybe not wanting to grow there, but then you have a plant like the mushroom that would want to grow there. I don't think this obstacle is going to be a huge obstacle because the obstacle is the Five of Wands. This could be a sensitive subject, and some people might make their teases, maybe jab a little about this specific topic, and it could be the person, it could be a specific situation. Overall, there is a pleasantness to it. It's not as dark as it used to be. It's not as aggressive as it used to be. There's something a little more lighthearted. And then again, they say, who needs enemies when you have friends like that? When you have, like, I don't know, like fucked up conversations with your friends. I don't know. There's this one time I was helping, well, I used to work with another technician and she's moving. And this has nothing to do with that, I guess. But I was supposedly gonna help her move in her apartment. I kind of helped. I was mainly just sitting there, but um, I I got there and I was, at the park in the parking lot. And I'm like, I'm here. Can I come up? And she's like, yeah, Coke up. And then she's like, she had to correct herself, or she retyped it, and she's like, yes, come up. Please don't do Coke. But it's just random. Um, there's this one time where I was moving myself from another apartment, and it's something to just move on your own, move things on your own. And for some reason, I had my bed frame against the wall. It's a metal bed frame. I still have it. I'm sitting on it. And so it's this that, like you see here. And I was putting the actual bed in plastic to cover it up. And so I think I like hit the bed frame or something because it fell on my head. And then there's always a conversation of how did the bed frame fall on your head? And I'm like, it did. Because I was on the friend with my best friend, and then she was like, I guess, well, she was calming me down because all of a sudden there was just like blood everywhere. Like it was, I got hit here, and luckily it was like here. Um, I think it was like more not the shock of the injury, but the shock of like all of a sudden, like my eyesight is like all bloody. Like there's blood dripping down my face. It was like gushing, and then there was blood all over the floor. It was like in my mouth. That's what she said. And I just like went into the bathroom and was just like, oh my God, I'm not paying for a hospital visit. So I just like I cleaned up. But anyway, and then it was like maybe the next night or two, or that night, I got like one of the worst cramps in my legs because I lost so much blood and then my circulation was just not great at the time. So I go in the next day, and then they're just like laughing the whole time because I walked in with a cane, and I really like the um hiking or the terrain canes. And so I was just like and doing my thing in at work, and then they were just like making their jabs. Anyway, I'm trying not to make this a super long video because my last two videos were really long. But the Nine of Wands, and it seems to be the consistent card that comes up. This one, it feels like actually getting through things and not really worrying about what the other things are going around you and the other people. It's kind of like feeling and being and just like energetically like secure, and it does feel nurturing like the Jasper. So that's definitely an improvement because like there's fire and there's everything going around this person, and it just seems like um just being able to take the hits and being okay with the hits too, because maybe they aren't as aggressive as they used to be, or they may be being able to take it easier or more lightly than they used to. Also, this could happen not only with a lot of opinions, if you watch a lot of readings and it's one reading after another reading after another reading. And I'm not saying to not watch readings, but sometimes, like, there's a lot of things that are said in the reading. Um, so be mindful of that too. So much things like kind of, it kind of looks like blowing up, or, but this person down there, because the barn caught on fire, is like making it out of the fire scotch-free. Also, maybe linking to Peru. And then there's strength here too. This it kind of feels like learning the ropes because there's a a cub and his mother there. So there is a sense of security in that too. And it doesn't need to be necessarily uh, a mother figure. It could be somebody that kind of feels like they have your back or they protect you in other ways. And again, with Peru linking to lightning or thunder or because it looks like something struck at the top. And then also linking to rain too, and linking to war. So there's a bunch of things going on there. But um I mean rain is good for this. They also say if you have a stove fire, I believe it's baking soda and to not add water. But the next step to overcome your obstacle is the Ten of Cups. There's so many this is the third 10 in this reading. The Ten of Cups and the Sun card. And that's really good too. And then oh, there's another card, the Seven of Swords. And with the sun, it feels linked to like a sunflower. And with the Seven of Swords, something just kind of drifts away to something that is more happier, puts them more at peace, which could be linked to the Ten of Cups too. In the past, it's the Three of Cups, which could be linked to the obstacle, the Five of Wands. It could be linking to people that you've kept in your life that honestly, it doesn't feel like they had necessarily the worst interests for you, but they didn't have the best interest for you. You could take that for what it is. With this, it's a little bit of exhaustion, the Four of Swords, and just wanting to have your time in peace. And then it's the Queen of Wands again that shows up. So that's a repeating archetype or court card in this reading. It's also, she could be linked to the Sun card too because she has a crown that resembles the rays of the sun. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and I'll see you in another video. Bye.